Stop coming by, stop coming by, stop coming by, stop coming by.
Sup, you flying penises. This is Wogawell, and I've got another video today. This one's gonna be a little different, and we're gonna take a break from the Broforce fun times that I'm having with Hab, because we've got some pre-recorded footage of that we can upload. I'm just gonna talk a bit about Fallout 76. Now, obviously, this isn't Fallout 76. This is Fallout 4, and I'm playing on very hard mode, not survival, because I think survival is a bit unforgiving, because I've played it quite a bit on my last save, and I ended up 3 hours into game time without sleeping, and then dying, and then having to go all the way back, and I just said I had enough. It's a really interesting concept. I love it. Anyway, this is my shitty level 17 character. I used to have a level 100. Again, since I moved, everything's been deleted, so I look really lame, but whatever. Anyway, on to the main premise of the video. So, there's been a lot of information, a lot of new information about Fallout 76 coming out over the last, we'll say, month or so, about what's going to happen, what it's all about. And I'm not going to give you, there's plenty of videos that give you all that information. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open a forum, or should I say have an open forum, about things that I'm concerned about, things I'm excited about, and I'm going to keep doing these videos until it comes out, because I've got the beta. Me and Hab both got the beta. I'm a good friend and I got him the beta as well. So we'll be playing that when it comes out, but just lead up for it, we're going to have a few discussions. This one is more, yeah, my current information, current thoughts, and then probably get in the video at Hab at some point and get his discussion, but I don't think he's too excited or as excited as I am. So firstly, obviously, we got the big thing is big new thing is the card packs and cards, and it's been confirmed that we won't be having, we'll say, microtransactions and things like that, or we may, but not in to benefit the one second, I'm gonna blast this head. Nice. See, it doesn't kill anyone. I'm not used to that. But the card packs themselves being sort of every 5 levels you get a card pack, you activate the cards, you put the cards in your dude, and it levels stuff up. Now, that's a really interesting concept, and one that I think will kick off as being very successful, and obviously it leaves a lot of room for improvement with DLC in the future. It isn't just going to be a case of here's a new area you can all explore. It's just going to be here's more new cards, which will change the dynamic of the game. It'll also allow them to tweak up issues that they're having with the game itself. So if something's too overpowered, they just tweak the card, not necessarily the gameplay mechanic. And it, ease of access makes life a bit easier that way. I think it's a great idea, brilliant idea, but my concern with that is, obviously, with all the games that include these kind of cards, there's always like the most powerful build. So I'm concerned that they haven't really they've catered to a lot of issues. They really have. They listened to the community. They've gone over a lot of things that the community could have an issue with, let's say like griefing and that, which we'll get on to later on in the video. But I think there's going to be like redundant perk cards that no one will ever use, and there's going to be cards that everyone's going to have to use if I'm to believe that PvP is what they say it is, which I don't think it is. I think that's a lie. I think they've sold us a lie on that one. However, I think there's going to be redundant ones, which is a shame, because I've seen some of the effects. Like, I don't know how effective food and drink is going to be in the game itself, when it comes to, we'll say, like actually eating and drinking. Is that going to be something that we really rely heavily on? Are people going to starve? Because I mean, one of the big things that they've kind of let off is that eating itself or death itself, we'll say. So if you're not eating or drinking and you die of hunger or whatever, it doesn't seem like there's that big of a penalty. Maybe cap penalty or whatever, but it seems like you just respawn. We don't know too much about that either. Is there a respawn timer or whatever? But for usually full title games that you spend money on, there isn't a time sensitive anything. You just hit the button and you respawn. It's there hasn't been a game release where it's like, oh, apart from, we'll say, games like World of Warcraft, but this isn't like that, I would think. But if you think about it, you die, you're going to come back instantly. So if you're not eating or not drinking, then you're going to die, and then you're just going to come back again. And I presume you're going to be full with food, and thirst is going to be quenched as well as a result. Otherwise, you just lead into a endless spiral of coming alive and dying again, which I don't think will be an issue. So I think with that, the perk cards themselves, some of them that I've seen anyway, seem extremely pointless, which is kind of frustrating for me, because if you think that in these games in the past you could have every perk, and if you wanted the bad ones you could have them as well as the good ones, which is one of the good things about the game. If you were like, oh, you know, I want the bloody mess perk, so if you want to go into the perk tree here, please forgive my level, but you've got the bloody mess perk, which historically has been, you know, very recognizable. But the thing is with bloody mess is it inflicts more damage to enemies, but it also makes them explode, which is not good on the eyes in my opinion. So someone who's building a pure damage build would go for this, but me, someone who prefers to avoid the effect of bloody mess, I don't get it. I usually avoid it. But that being said, so if I'm going through the perks here, if we go to, let's say, buying stuff at vendors is cheaper, you know, if I pump all my points into charisma because I want to get cheaper vendor prices, if I get my as we've seen, to go over the what we do and do know already, the max level is going to be, or maximum points distribution is going to be 15 per perk, which you can get 50 points. So I believe it's 50 or 51, something along those lines. Again, this is all speculation, but you'll that means you can't get 15 in every area, which also means that you can't get every perk card. So if I start the game and go, right, I want to get 15 charisma, start getting cheaper prices, and I believe it's like, you know, better team-based effects and all that stuff, and then I want to go luck and find more items, and I want to basically get as many caps as I possibly can. So I've got 30 in luck and 30 in charisma. You won't have intelligence, agility, endurance, and perception to max, and or strength to max. And if that becomes like, I hate using the term, but the meta of the game, where people are going around with max strength and max agility to kick your ass, and you've no choice to respec, because I don't think they're exploring that possibility, then you're going to miss out big time, and you're going to say, right, well, I've got all the money I need. You could be a million caps up, you could have all the items you ever need, but your strength and your ability to even fight PvE is going to take a hit, which I think is terrible. I mean, my big thing in all of Bethesda games since Oblivion, since Morrowind even, especially Morrowind, is the fact that you had indefinite levels up. In Morrowind you could level up as much as you want. In Oblivion you could level up and then go to jail and then level up again. Jail would reduce your skills, allowing you to increase them again to level up further. Skyrim on its release had a max level cap, which, not being kind of nerdy, but I hit that cap quite fast, by my standards, we'll say. So it wasn't like overnight, it was over a course of a couple of weeks. And once I hit the max level, those of you who jumped on the Skyrim train a bit late won't know, but you hit 50 and then that's it, you're max. And then they released a patch or an add-on that removed the limit, and you could get all your skills and you could prestige your skills, and it was brilliant. That really made me go back to the game again a second time and start a new character, play it again. I was very impressed with that, but that's one of the things that concerns me, because I know in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas there was a limit, and you had sort of skills that you'd love to go, oh, you know, I played 100 hours of the game, I wish I invested all my points in luck just to see what would happen, or charisma so I could get all the skill checks on the speech. But in doing so, you'd have to create a new character, start the game again, which in those games, I don't know how you felt about it, but I felt like the replayability wasn't there when it comes to focusing your builds on non-combat based skills. You miss out on a lot of the you know, if you want to play out, because I'm a bit of a sadist, I play games in the hardest difficulty just because, but I feel like you'd suffer. Again, that's my concern with 76, is that when we actually get down to it, you're going to try and build your perfect character, and to be honest, one of the concerns again with that is you're just starting a new game. You don't know what the big perks are, what benefits of anything are, and you might just pump all your points in strength and go, yeah, fuck you, and then miss out on, if you saw in the videos, there's actually some items you can't build in your base without like first aid or without demolitions expert and things like that, which again is another concern for me. So with like, I understand that they don't want everyone to be max level, max power, max everything, blah blah. But I think a respec option needs to be implemented on release, because the first thing we're going to want to do is 10 hours in and realize that, oh, your buddy, got intelligence to 15 and I've only got endurance to 15, but he's got all these cool perks that let him do this and that and this. And you're sitting there thinking, I've pumped 10 hours, 20 hours maybe, I've been playing it all week, um, and now I'm considering starting again, which to me is not something you should think on a game of this caliber. I think they should be moving forward with that, not backwards. And maybe I'm wrong, but have read a lot of articles and a lot of stories and a lot of what people have been saying, and there doesn't appear to be any sort of plans for a respec. This could be something released in a later version, we'll say, or maybe not released at all. Which again, people online I can see are, oh, who cares? It allows you to build a big team of 4 people who have all different skills. But what if you don't? What if you have a team of 4 people who have the same idea as you at the beginning, and you're all pumping your points into the same thing, and then you realize later on, or there's a new release or a new change or a new, something that comes out that changes your mind, and you don't have that option? I think that's really, really bad. I mean, it's something I would even be willing to pay for if it was like a skill away or a special book that you could buy for a pound or $1 on the store, and you could respec your character that way once or something, just to be given that option. I mean, I probably wouldn't buy it, but at least I know the option's always there, so I can just freely develop my character early on and go, okay, here I go. That's my concern with that. And I think while the cards are an excellent idea, and from what I've seen, it's an excellent thing. That would be one of my concerns, and we have to be real about it. Really, you can't just say, oh, they've got a plan, or it. To me, with these online games, they focus too much on balance, and if combat is as it is to believe, which I don't believe it is, that you can't just go around killing everyone, and super boosted perks aren't going to help you kill all the other guy has to instigate combat and all this kind of stuff. If you can't level up your character to 15 15 15 on all skills and have all the perks that you want, that's in interest of balance. And when the interest of balance is put into these kind of games, it usually implies that there is going to be an onus on combat and protection and self preservation in these games against other players. Because if you look at all games historically, like PUBG and all that kind of stuff, you build up, and you there's a balance level. You can't just start with all the guns, otherwise you're going to, if everyone started with all the guns, it wouldn't be interesting. So that's my problem. I hope it's addressed before the release. Again, with the beta, we've been confirmed that the progress you make on the beta will be kept to the full game. So again, it's a beta, so anything can change. So if in the beta you're running around with a super broken perk that you feel is like, oh yeah, when the full game comes out this is going to be amazing, and then as a result Bethesda go, nope, that perk's now been nerfed substantially and you've pumped all your points into making that perk good. Yes, it may be a small thing to some people, but for people like, I guess, like me, it would be a problem, and it's going to be something I'm going to bring up when the game does actually come out in the end. So there's that, and that's probably my biggest concern, something I've been wanting to speak about. It seems like it's like the elephant in the room when people are talking about it, or people are just trying to avoid it because they're like, oh, Fallout 76 is going to be great. I'm the biggest Bethesda fan. For those of you who don't know, Morrowind was a game, and I know some of you are going to go back and go, Daggerfall was a game. Yes, but I think there's like a new age of Bethesda, bummers that are coming out that are like, oh, I played Skyrim for like 200 hours. Not being funny, and this is not something I'm proud of, but I played Oblivion for 1,000 and Skyrim for 900. More than 1,000 on Oblivion in total, but one of my characters actually had 1,000 hours. That was a summer worth of gaming. And I understand a lot of what Bethesda, what their capabilities are, what they can do. So, their engine themselves. I think I understand it quite substantially, and I think, I'm allowed to have an opinion. I think we all are, but I think those who have been diehard fans since the very beginning, they deserve to have a say. And I guess the new age, and I've seen a lot of it, is like, oh, can't wait to go killing other players, and it's on. We've been waiting for online Bethesda Elder Scrolls / Fallout games since Morrowind came out, since Oblivion came out, and we were mods and everything have tried to do it, and it's finally here, and it needs to be perfect in my opinion. And I think a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about the good things next, but and this isn't even a bad thing. It's just a concern I have. But it needs to be perfect. It really does. It needs to meet expectations. There's a lot of money being pumped into this. People are spending a lot of money buying this thing. I've got the limited edition big box helmet version on the way, and I'm excited. I really am. I just don't want it to become a logistical nightmare when I'm thinking about building my character. That's the one thing I want to just put in the back of my mind and not worry about, and just level up and play the game. But if I feel like I'm making wrong choices halfway through the game, I don't want to have to go back and make my new character, or at least consider that, because that'll make me regret, the 10 hours, 20 hours, 100 hours I've played in the game. So there's that. The good things, obviously, we've seen some introductions of some really interesting creatures, like the sloth. That thing is cool. We've seen that creature. I don't know what it's called, but it's the one with the it's just a big hulking mass. And then we've seen recently the dragon type thing. I'm not sure what it's called, but that looks sick. And if it from what we've seen in the videos, it actually attacks settlements, which is awesome. So you can defend your settlement against creatures and attacks and all that kind of stuff, which is brilliant. I think in Fallout 4, it was lacking in sort of a clear sort of, oh, this is base defense, and you've built loads of these turrets, and enemies are going to attack you on the regular, when really what happens is 1 week in game, and 4 or 5 raiders will come attack your base, and your turrets will kill them before you even get there. Wow, great base defense. You set up a massive tower of turrets that didn't even get used, which is unfortunate. I would have liked in this to have defense mode where you survive as long as you can, you get all the loot from the enemies, the experience, and then they destroy your base or your reactor or whatever, and then that's game over. But again, being a console gamer, you don't have the freedom to sort of jump around and sort of indulge your mind in that kind of stuff with mods and everything. But I think it's going to be really cool. You're going to spend a lot of time building your base, and it's going to mean something if these big ass level 50 creatures are coming to attack your little small ass level 10 group of people with 4 people, and you're all working together to build this amazing base and defend it. It's just brilliant. And as well with the introduction of sort of the camp system, where you can save blueprints of your base, which I think is fantastic. So you can bring your base anywhere in any world. So if you log out, your base goes with you. You log back in, your base will appear where it was in that server previously, but if someone's built on top of it, it's just simply given back to you in the form of a blueprint, which you can place anywhere then following that, and then your base just appears there. I'm gonna die to a blood bug. I'm fucked. Great. I'm gonna die to a blood bug. That's so good. I was actually just using this video to kind of have something in the background. It wasn't going to be gameplay of me killing anything, because I think that could think that can be kind of distracting. But this is more distracting. But yeah, so that's a good thing. I think it's brilliant, and the variety of creatures. I think the scenery looks excellent. It's exciting. It's going to appeal to new players and old players, I think. And one of the big things I'm looking forward to is the player trading. That was one of the massive things that I was missing on all previous games. It wasn't the idea of, oh, I want to play in Quest with my friends. It was like, I want to be able to trade this level 50 sword in Oblivion with someone for their level 60 sword, or something, something cool like that, where they found something awesome, and then you were like, oh, I want that. And if you went to your friend's house and he was like, I got this sword that does this and does that, and it was by chance, it was a lucky loot drop or something, and you miss out because it's not in your game and you can't trade for it or whatever. But in this, we're actually going to be able to trade, and it's going to have a fully functioning economy, which is excellent. But also, there's a concern with that, is that if there's an in-game economy where you can trade things, and there's no, I'm going to get killed again, and there's no sort of limit to what you can trade, which I don't know. That's not confirmed. That's just speculation. There's no limit, in my opinion. Like, you can, from what I've seen, you just use caps and you buy and sell what you want. Then there's going to be people online selling caps for real money, which, in my opinion, and I never understood it. People go so crazy over this stuff, like, oh, it's an unfair advantage. Someone bought 1 million gold in World of Warcraft. It doesn't affect me, man. It doesn't change my, my game. And then usually in these PvP scenarios and stuff, money doesn't make a difference. You just have to have a good build and good skill. So I think it's going to be interesting how they're going to lock that one down, most definitely. But yeah, that's gonna be cool. So base building, vendors. I was worried when they said that there was gonna be no NPC vendors in the game, so I shat myself. I was like, so it's all just gonna be player based income and outcome. Um, that's not good. Something else has seen me. I don't actually know what it is. Okay, in Mirror Hunter, I don't think I can even come close to damaging that thing. But yeah, but then they kind of reduced my worries by putting machine vendors, which is perfect. That's fine. I don't care. You know, machine vendors is great. Buying and selling stuff from the machine vendors in lieu of having NPCs, because it breaks the sort of the ideology that it's created by us, you know, run by us, and obviously automatic vendors, who cares, it doesn't break any sort of role play elements or anything, which is great. So I think that's cool. So we gone over that, characters, levels. That's you know, that's pretty much it for now. I mean, I have a million thoughts in my mind about how this game is going to go. I just want it to succeed. Obviously, I don't know what the hell that was. Oh, Deathclaw. Shit, I'm dead again. But you know, I have a million ideas, million thoughts, you know, of what it could be, what it can be, how it's going to be successful. I don't doubt that it's not going to be successful. I don't doubt that it's going to not live up to the hype. But I'm just wish that they would cover a lot of the concerns that I think I myself have, being a diehard fan. But hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. So next time, this is going to be a multi-part video, or whenever I feel like this sitting down and discussing some Fallout stuff, I'm going to do so. Maybe next time with Hab, if he's up for it. I don't think he will be, we'll see. But let me know what you think in the comments. We'll discuss this a bit further. And if you have any further information that could clear this up, I'd be happy to, you know, next video clear that up and go over things, and you know, and if ask questions, ask me to what my opinions on certain things are. I'll happily answer the questions that you have. So I hope if you enjoyed this style of video, which I've always wanted to start doing, sort of like discussion based videos, then please let me know, and I'll be happy to make more. You know, it's an interest of mine aside from the gaming, but it's going to be all gaming related, of course. It's not just going to be like, oh, politics and religion. It's going to be gaming related stuff. So if you enjoy these, let me know, and I hope to see you in the next video. What we're going to do now, before the end of the video, is to try and kill this Mirror Hunter, or get killed, and end it on a big bang. So thank you all, and I'll see you in the next video.